Alright, welcome. Here we go. I'm going to show you my basic, simple keto mousse recipe. This is very, very easy. It has very few ingredients, so you can just see just how quickly this gets done and out of the way. So, the basic ingredients are whipping cream, plain pure gelatin. I'm using a powdered form. You can only find the sheets. You'll just need to check the measurements. What this package here is used for is to set 2 cups or 500 milliliters of any liquid. So check the measurements of your gelatin, your sheets, and see how much of it would make 2 cups or 500 milliliters of a liquid. I'm going to use about 1/3 of this package. So again, measurements are a little tricky here, but 1/3 of this package is just right for about 1 cup of whipping cream. So that is the basic measurements you're going to be wanting to work with here. The rest is a little bit more on the fly. I'm going to be using stevia, better stevia, alcohol-free, pure stevia. So this does not have any fillers to bulk it up to make it the same measuring as sugar, but this is going to be extremely convenient in this case. So the measurements here, to make a flavor, you just want to add an extract. That's the center of this. If you've got some spices, you may end up using those as well. This is going to be like just the simplest type of thing. For this recipe, I'm going to make something that tastes like eggnog. So we're going to use Imitation Brandy extract, not rum. I know they have rum as well. These are all just an array of extracts that you could also use. I'm going to put these aside. So we're going to use Imitation Brandy extract, and we're going to use some cinnamon and nutmeg. So first step, put some stevia into your thing. I would say 1/4 teaspoon at most. You just need enough of your sweetener of choice to sweeten about 1 cup of liquid. Then we'll add some of our extract. And again, this measurement does not have to be precise. I am adding probably another 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon of brandy extract. I will also add cinnamon and nutmeg. So we'll put 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon and a pinch of nutmeg. And just for color, 1 drop of red and 5 or 6 drops of yellow. This will make it look more like eggnog as well. Alright, so we've added all of these ingredients into our measuring cup. Make sure you use microwave safe Pyrex measuring cup for this. Now we add water until it fills to 1/4 cup. Right there. And then we add our gelatin, and we're using about 1/3 to 1/2 of this package. So there. So it will look like this. And while we're waiting for this to bloom, we're going to whip our cream now. Hello, hello. This is future me I'm adding in a little segment here showing how this adapts to citrus fruit. I'm going to make a lime flavored gelatin preparation before adding it to the whipping cream. So when you make lime flavored, you just need one lime and you want to zest it. So there's our zest. And we'll cut the lime and get the juice out. And it's important to use the juice because you want some acidity, some citric acid in your lime flavor, or it won't taste very limey. So here's our preparation. This is very simple. We use some stevia. It's probably more like 1/8 of a teaspoon, to be honest. Then we put our zest in. Some green food coloring, because otherwise it just comes up quite white and boring. So I'm putting in maybe 3 or 4 drops of green. And then this is what's important here. Always the total amount of liquid that the gelatin should sit in for this method is always 1/4 of a cup. So if you have lime juice, you would use 1/4 of a cup of lime juice. You'd fill this to 1/4 cup. If you don't have enough lime juice, you top it off with water so that you, which is what's happening in this case. I don't have enough lime juice to reach 1/4 of a cup, so I'm adding water until it's 1/4 cup. Also, I purchased a different brand of gelatin and examined the measurements. That seems to be a standard that are meant to do 2 cups of liquid in one of these packets is 1 tablespoon or 15 milliliters. So I am using 5 milliliters, that means, in my recipe. And that makes sense because you don't want it to be too firm, and you need to make compensation for the fat content of the whipping cream. There isn't as much water liquid in whipping cream as there is in straight water. There is a fat liquid as well, and the fat liquids is not what gelatin is meant to mix with. So whenever you are looking at these measurements, if you are making a flavor mixture and you want to make it, I don't know, peanut flavored, the fat liquid wouldn't count. You would actually put your peanut butter in separately from your gelatin mixture. Just make sure that you put all the water type liquids, extracts, stevia, food coloring together before you add water to top it off to 1/4 cup. And then everything should work out just fine. I'm going to add 1/3 of this packet. This packet is the exact same quantity as the other brand I bought. I'm going to add 1/3 of this packet to my lime mixture and let that bloom for my batch of lime mousse. Alright, now back to your regularly scheduled program. And while we're waiting for this to bloom, we're going to whip our cream now. So the gelatin needs to soak up into the water. And while it's soaking in, it takes just as long for it to soak in as it takes to get your cream whipped. So we'll put in 1 cup of whipping cream into our bowl. And the lines in my bowl actually show exactly the 1 cup measurement, which is why I can just pour it freely But if you need a measuring cup, go for it and measure your 1 cup's worth of whipping cream. And this is where I need to get quiet because this will be too loud for me to talk over. So here we go. Okay, the whipping cream is whipped just about to its full stiffness, and before the whipping cream flattens, I take this. Now you can see that the gelatin has soaked up the liquid and it's ballooned, that's what they call that. And so now I'm going to put this in the microwave for about 20 seconds. And this is what it looks like once it's melted in the microwave. You really don't need to put it in more than 20 seconds, 15-20 seconds. I'm just going to take a spoon and stir it up just to make sure that all the components are blended. Alright, and here is the rest of making the mousse. That's it. Now you portion this into serving dishes and put it in the fridge 1 or 2 hours, up to 4 hours depending on how cool your fridge is. I'm not sure. I think I can start eating it within an hour, but it's not usually fully set by then. So 2 or 3 should be fine. So we'll put a little in. You can put as much as you want as you're serving. This is a very small crystal glass, and I have made it this way for my mother before. More often I will just use some plastic containers with lids. If you want to keep it for a while in the fridge, you will want a lid, and it can keep in the fridge for about 3 days with a lid on. That's it. That is how you make my sugar-free keto mousse. And you can make a lot of variations on this recipe. This is the eggnog variation. But think about making something like butter maple or orange flavored, or you could use an actual lemon and make lemon flavored. I may make other recipes for you, but that's what you get today. I hope you enjoy experimenting with your mousse.